Hello. In this video, we are covering an introduction to VISDOM AI in Cobblestone Contract Insight. VISDOM AI is Cobblestone's proprietary AI tool and is primarily used to read and extract data from contracts you upload in the system. Nowadays, it can do much more than that. But today, we're going to be focusing on VISDOM AI primarily from the perspective of adding a new contract. We're going to link some videos in the description here on some other VISDOM features like our word add-in, our auto redlining tools, and lots of other cool features with VISDOM AI. But again, today we're primarily focusing on just the ability to add a file with VISDOM. Okay, now before we jump in, I also have to preface that we do have two different, say, versions of VISDOM AI. We have VISDOM Basic and we have VISDOM Plus. Now, VISDOM Basic comes out of the box. So if you don't know too much about VISDOM, you probably just have VISDOM Basic. And if you didn't pay for any add-on module, you have VISDOM Basic probably. VISDOM Plus, like I just alluded to, is an add-on module. Okay, so it's separate, does not come with your system. The primary difference amongst some smaller ones is the training data that is used for each of these respective tools. VISDOM Basic uses Mistral as its large language model, so the training data comes from a language model called Mistral, while VISDOM Plus uses OpenAI as its language model, which is going to be more advanced and robust than Mistral. Okay. Now, since we're covering sort of the general overview of VISDOM today, we're just going to be covering basic. If you check out the add-on module playlist in our Cobblestone University YouTube channel, you will see a full video on VISDOM Plus. Okay, so here we're covering the basics of adding a file with VISDOM Basic. So there's two main ways to upload a file with VISDOM in the core system. You can drop a file using drop files here, or you may go to the main menu, go to contracts, and then add contract with VISDOM AI. My preference is for drop files here. You may upload more than one file if you want, and the other files will just be added to the queue. You may also upload PDFs if you'd like to, and it will just OCR them before it extracts data. We're going to use a Word document today to keep things simple. So I'm just going to drag and drop a single Word document into drop files here. Then it will ask me what type of record I would like to create, a contract, a request, a PO record, or something else. I may also opt to keep this in a file queue and circle back to it later or delegate it. But let's go add a contract. If you're uploading more than one file, it will ask you which file you'd like to upload first, and then I can choose my contract type. Okay. And then I'll click Continue to add contract. And now hang with me a moment while this loads. And what's happening here is that VISDOM AI is checking the file that you see previewed on the right-hand side and trying to match the information in the file with the fields that I have in the center here. Then it can reference any configuration that we have set up in the system to optimize the extractions. We'll talk about that in a later video, probably in Unit 5. But we have VISDOM help descriptions that we can add to the fields, and we have algorithms that we can assign to the fields, again, to help it extract. It does do a decent job out of the box nowadays of extracting information, but again, there are some tools to help us to optimize. All things we are going to fast forward, and we'll talk about this landing page. Okay, so here we go. On the left-hand side, we have VISDOM views, right, which I'll talk about in a minute. In the center, we have fields. If I were to have gone and just added a contract the old-fashioned way, these would still be the fields I would see, right? These are just the usual fields you have assigned to this type of contract. On the right, we have a preview of the file. Okay, you can tell that VISDOM did a decent job of extracting the information. It found that contract title, which was just a consulting agreement. It found the counterparty name, the department. It found a description, termination clause, amendment clause, secondary vendor, the contract amount, budget amount, and some key dates. Okay, and all this happened automatically. Again, you can optimize the extractions, but in this case, this was all automatic. Now, this is an AI tool, and with any AI tool, you should 100% check the results. So I do want to go through and make sure all of this was correct. If it didn't find anything, say like the expiration warning date, I would want to fill that in myself. Okay. Even for things that it did find, the budget amount, okay, I actually don't have a budget amount in here, so that might have been a false extraction. I would remove that, maybe just fill it in with my own budget amount. Okay. So definitely go through and view every field to make sure it extracted correctly. VISDOM is an assistant after all. It's not going to replace the job of having to input the data, but it does help out with it to make that job more efficient. On the left-hand side, I have VISDOM views. Right now we're on record creation, which is, of course, the most important part of adding a contract. We also have high-risk findings. So these are areas of the contract that are either non-standard language or use uncommon clauses that were flagged and that you should review. You could also go through and dismiss these if you deem it to be safe. VISDOM Assist has two sections. Possible system additions are objects found in the file that are not in your system yet. These are clauses, counterparties, and locations. So as an example, BLJ Consulting found in here in the file, but not in my system. Okay, so these are all things not in my system yet that I could add. Sentiment. First, what I'll do is choose a party that I'm viewing this as. Then I'll parse every major section of the contract to let you know if that section is positive, negative, or neutral to you as this party. Okay, so again, it notes areas that you should maybe try to keep or areas that you should try to revise. And then confirmed matches are sections found in this file that actually match some data in your database in clauses, vendors, and locations. The findings overview just summarizes how many things were found in these three sections. And then this VISDOM settings is just the type of contract. So if it auto-extracted the type of contract and it got it wrong, you can adjust this. Okay, now from there, I'll hit save and continue. And I'll add this contract to the system. From there, it's just a contract edit that came from VISDOM AI. It does upload the file to the files and attachments table. Okay, now here's the contract that was entered. And I'm just going to go over to attachments and templates, ensure that the file was uploaded here successfully. And the file will say added via drag and drop in the notes. In the next part of this video, I want to briefly cover how to use the VISDOM Assist chatbot. You'll find this on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. And you can basically ask the chatbot questions about the system, how to add a contract, how to do basic configuration, or you could ask it more specifics, like things about contracts with legal or the clause agent, rewriting contracts, or using a web search. Okay, we'll just do something basic to start and go with help me add a contract. Okay, and there we go. It asks me if you want to just create a new record in the sort of the manual way or do it with VISDOM from a file. Okay. In addition to that, I can ask it maybe something more specific. If you happen to be a system administrator, maybe I could choose the wiki agent and say, how do I create an ad hoc report? Okay. Now here are the steps to create an ad hoc report from our wiki. Next, I want to show you that we can leverage this VISDOM Assist icon, this little sparkle icon, to summarize, translate, or rewrite this section. So I can click this icon here. It will transfer that language over into the chatbot, and I can click rewrite, translate, or summarize. So let's go with summarize in this case, and it will give me a nice succinct summary of that body of text. Okay, and there's our summary. We could also use this to update the field. So let's say yes, update, and it'll update that field for me. The other two functions work similarly. If I choose translate, ask me which language I want to translate this to, and if I click rewrite, I can basically just tell it how I want it to rewrite. Please rewrite this in my party's favor. Okay, and it will rewrite that for me. Now, if you're interested in this, I definitely think you'll be interested in Cobblestone's Word add-in. We cover that in Unit 4, which we'll link in the description. But the Word add-in is an integration with Microsoft Word that provides a lot of insights and performs a full analysis on files. It's like this, but even more advanced in a lot of cases. You might also want to check out Unit 5 for other miscellaneous VISDOM tools and how to optimize the VISDOM extractions. And finally, if you're interested, check out the VISDOM Plus add-on module video in our add-on module folder, where we offer even more comprehensive analyses and extractions with VISDOM. So I hope this was a useful introduction to Cobblestone's VISDOM AI. Please check out those further videos or contact training or your account manager for more information. Thank you.